The police are murderers in this country, and I don't mean all of them, but there are a group of police who do work together to kill and murder a lot of people. Nobody knows that better than Hugh Squires. That's this guy right here, and he's been messaging me. This guy has had 4 wives, and some of them were wives, some of them were fiancés, murdered and dismembered. He's coming out and telling the truth, and his story is quite amazing. His story is, he knows who killed Jimmy Hoffa. He knows who it was that killed President Kennedy, and he was the publisher of the Bottom Line Publishing Company, and that is the publishing group that published a whole lot of the celebrities that you know in the music industry today and for the last 40 or 50 years. And it was his company that was the records of which were destroyed in the 9/11 attacks. So much of what happened in his life ties into Kennedy and the 9/11 attacks and a whole lot of other attacks that have happened in this country for the last 50 years. And because of it, murderers pretty much followed him everywhere he goes. They have killed a lot of people around him. Well, recently, and I don't feel like I ever do his story justice. I mean, it's just hard to explain. It really is. I want everybody to go to Hugh Squire's page, Hugh Francis Squire, okay? And I don't want to go to it right now because I'm going to mention something. I don't want the name to accidentally show up. You'll see why here in a minute. But learn about this guy. Learn about his story. I post his stories on Bow and Arrow all the time. So let's go into the story. There was a person killed, a person by the name of Mills, okay, who has a long history. That family has a long history with Hugh throughout his life. Everywhere he goes, the police and others murder people by the numbers, by the code, by gematria code, by solar eclipse code. Okay? They murder people by this code in his life, and not only people, but they also murder animals. And sometimes they hire hitmen. The things they do are unbelievable. This is a very short article. Police investigate officer involved shooting along Rogue River Highway. Remember Rogue River Highway. Medford police are investigating a fatality along the Rogue River Highway at exit 45A. The incident happened around 8:31 p.m. At 8:46 p.m. in the Rogue River. At 8:46 p.m., the 1st Oregon State Police trooper arrived at the scene. The officers found a man, now identified as Tony Mills, age 73, underneath I-5, with a handgun. And I didn't even read the rest of the story because there's so much to decode right there. And maybe I'll go back and do that later, but there's plenty for you to get right here. Now, this is the Medford police, right? Medford is 65. Look at the date. 7/19/2019. Immediately, you add the 7 to 19, the 20 to 19, and it equals 65. Add it this way, and it equals 38, like murder equals 38, okay? Murder by numbers, you know? Now, keep in mind that's 65. The guy's name who died was Mills. No. First going away. Mills is 65. And recently, Hugh's friend had a horse that died. We don't know yet if that horse died because of this or not. However, Hugh has told me that horses have been murdered on his property or near his property at least 3 other times. So we find it highly suspicious. Look at the word horse. 65. Okay. And by the rule of Carell, which states that if you add 1 to the value of a number, it doesn't change, or if you add 1 like this. If horse is 65, if you turn it to rogue, which is 66, it means the same thing. 1 off, add 1, 5 and 6, same thing, okay? 65, 66. So this happened, rogue is 66, the Rogue River, 66 as well. Isn't it interesting that Chuck Berry sang a song that was called Route 66? Okay, and Chuck Berry's guitar, which had been owned by Elvis gave it to Chuck Berry, and Chuck Berry gave it to Hugh. You can see it on one of his pictures. Okay, so very interesting tie-in to all this. And like we said, the date, okay, of the next solar eclipse. I didn't say this yet. The date of the next solar eclipse. They always tell people by the eclipses. 12 plus 14 plus 20 plus 20 is 66. Not a coincidence. They said the Rogue River. Look at this. Check this out. Remember this 831 right here? It happened at 831. Well, look at Rogue River. 138. See, not a coincidence. Same numbers backwards. Okay. Murder happened at 831. Rogue River 138. It said Mills is 73 years old. Well, if you've been doing this very long at all, pay attention to Zach's videos. I mean, Sacrifice is 73. Now, like we said, a horse recently died, right? Horse is 70, like the word sacrifice as well. Yeah, that's 170. Remember, if you add 1, so you change the invisible 0 on 70 to a 1, it becomes 170. Okay? It means the same thing numerology, and by the rules of numerology. The man who died, his name was Tony Mills, 139. Rogue River is 138. And I do think that the police are part of a Freemasonry group known as the Fraternal Order of Police. 139. You see? Well, Hugh's friend, I'll only give you your first name. It's 39. I'm not going to give you your last name, okay? But oddly enough, her name and Hugh's name in full, their full names, are equal in 3 ciphers. Now, according to this short article, part of it that I read, okay, it took 15 minutes for the police to arrive from the time of the murder. Okay? And you might have noticed that her name equaled 15. Right here, in reverse full. Definitely not a coincidence, in my opinion. At least I hope it is. I hope it's a coincidence, but this has happened 3 other times. Alright, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. And he gave me this link, okay? Look. He says, when I filed my wife's murder charges, one of the 4, okay, this horse was shot at my trailer as I slept. That takes you to here, right here. Or not that one, sorry, right here. This horse was shot, okay? And let's look at when it was shot. It was shot on 6/27/17. See it right here? So let's look at that date, 6/27 of year 17. Now, you'll see right here that it's 187, which is the homicide code. The police homicide code is 187. Well, that can't be a coincidence, okay? Because look at this. See in the article? Rogue River Highway at exit 45A. Turn the A into the letter it is or the number that it would be in alphabetical order. A is the first letter of the alphabet. The 451. The 451st prime is 3,187. You can look that up anywhere. Pretty easy. Okay, let's see. It's 451. So I'll just show you. Nope, that's it. 3,187. Okay. Again, that's the homicide code, 187. Okay, just like the how many days were left in the year of when that horse was killed. Okay. Now this horse's name was Shadow, just to show how obvious that they're using this code. Look how horse and shadow go together. You have 70, 70, 29, 29. Pretty obvious that that was a code. Somebody wants to understand it, they can. Isn't it also interesting that Hughes says that he built the Dodge Shadow assembly line? He did that one day before John Kennedy was murdered in Monterey. Go back to the story here. The officers found Tony Mill with a handgun. Okay. See, if you think I'm just like making up stuff, I take that word straight out of the article. It's not like I'm just making up words hoping they go together, you know? And I'm just only using the short version. I didn't even go to the full story. There's handgun. Now look at this. You'll see who actually killed him. Okay. Was it really the handgun? Well, handgun and police are the same. They're trying to tell you something here. See, 33 and 33, 120, 102, same number, slightly different order, 30 and 30. See how that works? And we were talking about the solar eclipses, and I gave you the solar eclipse that's coming up next year. Well, look at the previous solar eclipse. Just happened this month, okay? 7/20. I'm sorry, it's happened on 7/2 of 2019. Okay? And that was 17 days ago. Like the word kill equals 17. Not by coincidence. And notice that kill is 44, like Hugh. Hugh is 44. Okay. And the next solar eclipse on 12/14 leaves 17 days left in the year. We already talked about it being 66. Now we're telling you that it has 17 days left in the year. And those numbers are important with Amy and Hugh's name as well, but I'm not going to give you your full name. This is why it's really important as truth seekers that you learn the next level of truth to understand what really happened. Don't ever say that you think 9/11 is important and we want to know the truth about 9/11 and then say that, you know, I don't want to hear what Hugh's story is because his story is the center of 9/11. It's why it happened, okay? George Bush literally called him by name. Okay. You got to learn this stuff, or don't call yourself a truth seeker, because this is the center of the whole story. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.